The sun hung low in the sky, casting a warm glow over the vibrant streets of Asheville, North Carolina. I stood in front of a colorful mural, feeling the pulse of the city around me. The laughter of children mingled with the distant strumming of a guitar from a nearby street performer. This was supposed to be a family trip, a chance to reconnect and escape our routines. Yet, as I watched my husband and stepson engage in animated conversation, an unsettling sense of detachment crept over me. At 45, I often felt invisible. My days blended into one another, work, chores, and the demands of family life left little room for reflection or desire. My husband seemed absorbed in his own world, rarely noticing my silent struggles. We had built a life together, but somewhere along the way, intimacy had slipped through our fingers like sand. The festival atmosphere was intoxicating, vibrant colors and lively music surrounded us. Yet, amidst the festivities, I found myself drawn to my stepson in a way that both intrigued and frightened me. He was charming and full of life, with an infectious enthusiasm that reminded me of who I once was, a woman filled with dreams and aspirations. As we wandered through artisan stalls filled with handmade crafts and local delicacies, I caught glimpses of him stealing glances in my direction. Each look sent an unexpected shiver down my spine. It was innocent enough, a shared laugh here or a playful nudge there, but beneath it lay something deeper that neither of us dared to acknowledge. I tried to shake off the feeling as we made our way toward the Blue Ridge Parkway for breathtaking views that promised clarity. The winding roads offered stunning vistas that should have soothed my restless heart. Instead, they only heightened my internal conflict. How could I feel this way about him? He was part of my family now. This attraction felt like betrayal woven into every glance we exchanged. Our hotel check-in had been chaotic due to a mix-up with reservations. Instead of separate rooms as planned, we found ourselves sharing one small space, two beds pushed close together under dim lights that flickered softly overhead. The situation felt awkward at first, but as night fell and weariness set in after a long day exploring the festival grounds, something shifted between us. I sat on one bed while he sprawled on the other, engrossed in his phone while I flipped through channels on television aimlessly. The air felt thick with unspoken words and lingering tension as laughter from outside filtered through the window, a reminder that life continued outside our small bubble. "Did you see that performance earlier?" he asked suddenly, breaking the silence. "Yeah," I replied softly. "It was really good." He turned his head slightly toward me. Our eyes met for just a moment before I quickly looked away. There was something electric about those few seconds, a connection that felt both exhilarating and terrifying. As night deepened around us, exhaustion took hold. I turned off the television and settled into bed under cool sheets, but sleep eluded me. Instead, thoughts spiraled like leaves caught in an autumn breeze. Memories of my youth flooded back alongside regrets about choices made along the way. Just then, he shifted closer to my side of the bed without saying anything. It felt instinctive rather than intentional at first. My heart raced as he hesitated before speaking again. "Do you ever feel lost?" he asked quietly. His question hung heavy in the air between us, the vulnerability palpable, and somehow it opened up something within me that had long been buried beneath layers of routine and expectation. "Sometimes," I admitted slowly, surprised by my own honesty. He nodded thoughtfully before glancing at me again. This time there was more than curiosity in his gaze. It held an understanding that resonated deeply within me. In that momentary silence stretched between breaths filled with unspoken thoughts and desires lingering just beneath surface tension, the world outside faded away entirely until it was just us two standing on fragile ground where boundaries blurred without warning. And then it happened. A soft brush against each other's hands ignited something neither could deny anymore. Warmth spread through every fiber of my being as our fingers intertwined hesitantly at first before finding their rhythm naturally within each other's grasp. A dance we never intended to start yet couldn't seem to stop either, despite knowing its implications weighed heavily upon us both. I pulled back abruptly when realization struck like lightning splitting through dark clouds overhead. What were we doing? This wasn't right. But even as guilt washed over me like cold water crashing against warm skin, it didn't erase how alive he made me feel amidst all those years spent feeling unseen by everyone else around me, including myself sometimes too. Just then came sounds from outside. The unmistakable thud of footsteps approaching our door, followed by muffled voices echoing down hallways leading back toward familiar comforts waiting beyond these four walls where secrets lay hidden beneath layers accumulated over years spent building lives together instead. I froze mid-breath while panic surged throughout every inch within. What if someone saw? What if they knew? What would happen next? Then came another sound. Keys jingling followed by laughter spilling into space surrounding us. My husband returning home early from work unexpectedly shattered everything between us, instantly leaving behind only echoes reverberating off walls once filled with warmth, now transformed into icy silence where uncertainty loomed large above heads held low, unable to meet one another's eyes anymore. This wasn't how it was supposed to go, not here, not now. But somehow it had all unraveled beyond control, leaving behind nothing but questions lingering unanswered while shadows grew longer outside, casting doubt upon choices yet made. The door swung open, and the laughter faded into an awkward silence. My heart raced as I caught a glimpse of him, standing there, eyes wide in disbelief. The moment hung heavy in the air, thick with unspoken words and a tension that felt almost tangible. I could see the confusion etched across his face as he processed what he had walked in on. Hey, I stammered, trying to break the ice that had formed around us. The warmth of our earlier connection felt like a distant memory now, replaced by an icy chill that seeped into my bones. Did I interrupt something? He asked, his voice barely above a whisper. There was no malice in his tone, only surprise and perhaps a hint of concern for what had just transpired between us. No, not at all, I replied too quickly, my cheeks flushing with embarrassment. We were just talking. The weight of my words hung in the air like a dense fog. Talking? It felt like such an understatement for everything that had just happened. We had crossed a line that shouldn't have been crossed, a line that now loomed large between us. As he stepped further into the room, I could feel the distance between us growing wider despite our physical proximity. His presence was both comforting and disconcerting. It reminded me of how easy it was to slip into this new dynamic we had created during our trip. A part of me longed for that thrill, but another part screamed at me to retreat back to safety. What were you two doing? My husband's voice cut through the tension like a knife. He stood in the doorway with arms crossed, his brow furrowed in confusion and anger mingling together. I glanced at him, then back at my stepson. His expression mirrored mine, caught between fear and uncertainty about how to navigate this sudden shift in our relationship dynamics. It's nothing, I said quickly again, though my heart sank at the thought of dismissing what had just happened as insignificant when it felt monumental to me. Nothing? You're kissing him. He pointed an accusatory finger toward my stepson as if trying to pin the blame solely on him. The accusation hung heavy in the air like smoke after a fire, dense and suffocating. I could feel my stepson's gaze darting away from mine, shame creeping into his features as he registered the weight of my husband's words. I didn't mean for it to happen, I finally admitted, feeling exposed under their scrutiny. It was just one moment. A moment? Is that all it was? My husband's voice rose slightly as frustration bubbled beneath the surface. What does that say about you? About us? I wanted to scream back at him about how unseen I often felt in our marriage, the way routine had dulled our connection over years spent together, but instead, silence filled the room again as we stood there trapped by unspoken emotions. You need to leave, my husband said finally after what felt like an eternity of silence stretching painfully between us. What? My stepson looked taken aback by the sudden shift in tone. No. It was a mistake. I don't care, my husband snapped back sharply before turning away from both of us. A flood of emotions surged within me, fear for what lay ahead and guilt for having let things spiral out of control so quickly weighed heavily on my chest. But beneath it all lingered an undeniable thrill, a reminder of how alive I felt when we kissed moments before everything unraveled. "I'm sorry," I whispered softly as if those words could somehow mend what was broken or bridge the gap created by betrayal and confusion. My stepson looked at me with wide eyes filled with uncertainty but also something else, an understanding that perhaps we were both caught in this tangled web together now without any clear way out. "Let's talk about this later," he suggested quietly before stepping closer toward me again as if seeking comfort amidst chaos unfolding around us. But before anything more could be said or done, before we could even begin processing what had happened, my husband stormed out of the room, slamming the door behind him, leaving only echoes reverberating off walls once filled with warmth, now transformed into icy silence where uncertainty loomed large above heads held low, unable to meet one another's eyes anymore. The minutes stretched into hours as we sat there grappling with reality, the weight of secrecy settling heavily upon us while shadows grew longer outside, casting doubt upon choices yet made. Eventually, he broke the silence, first saying hesitantly, "I didn't mean for any of this either." "I know," I replied softly, feeling tears prick at corners threatening to spill over but holding them back firmly, instead focusing on breathing through this unexpected turmoil swirling around us both, forcing myself not dwell too deeply upon implications beyond immediate moment. "Right here, right now. We should probably go find your dad." His voice trailed off uncertainly, echoing thoughts racing through mind, grappling against instinctive pull toward one another despite everything else surrounding situation demanding attention, instead pulling apart threads woven tightly together moments ago. Yet amidst all turmoil swirling around us lingered undeniable connection forged through shared experience, drawing closer still even while knowing consequences looming ahead, waiting patiently just beyond horizon, waiting patiently until time came when decisions would have been made regarding future paths taken moving forward from here onward. As night fell outside, casting shadows across room where memories lingered faintly behind closed doors, I found myself wondering whether anything would ever truly return back normal again after tonight. The morning sun filtered through the curtains, casting a soft glow across the room. I lay awake, tangled in thoughts that felt heavier than the quilt draped over me. The memory of last night lingered, a bittersweet reminder of what had transpired. Our lips met, and in that fleeting moment, everything shifted. I could still feel the warmth of his breath against my skin, a stark contrast to the chill of uncertainty creeping into my heart. I glanced sideways, half expecting to see him still asleep beside me. But the bed was empty, and an unsettling quiet filled the space. The reality of our situation hit me like a wave crashing against a rocky shore. What had I done? I was a married woman, and yet here I was, entangled in something that felt both exhilarating and terrifying. The family trip had been meant to bring us closer together as a unit, my husband, my stepson, and me, but it seemed to have pulled me into an emotional whirlwind instead. I could hear laughter filtering in from outside as my husband chatted with other family members down in the hotel lobby. Their voices were like distant echoes of normalcy, while I remained suspended in this new reality that felt anything but normal. I slipped out of bed and padded quietly to the bathroom. Splashing cold water on my face helped clear some of the fog clouding my thoughts. As I looked into the mirror, I barely recognized the woman staring back at me. She seemed older somehow, worn by indecision and guilt rather than age itself. The reflection reminded me of all those years spent trying to be what everyone expected, a good wife, a supportive stepmother. But what about my own desires? What about feeling seen? I dressed quickly, choosing a simple sundress that felt comfortable yet presentable enough for breakfast with family. As I stepped into the hallway, I took a deep breath to steady myself before joining them. The dining area buzzed with conversation as plates clattered and coffee brewed nearby. My husband waved me over with a smile that felt genuine but distant at the same time, a reminder that perhaps he had no idea how much things had changed overnight. "Morning. Sleep well?" he asked cheerfully. "Like a rock," I replied with a forced smile. My stepson sat at the table too, his eyes darting toward mine for just a moment before he quickly looked away. The weight of unspoken words hung between us like an invisible thread connecting two souls caught in an intricate dance they never intended to perform. We settled into our seats, and as breakfast progressed, small talk filled the gaps where deeper conversations might have existed if only we dared to breach them. My husband spoke about plans for hiking later while my stepson nodded along absent-mindedly. Each laugh from them felt like it echoed off walls built from secrets, walls that could come crashing down at any moment if we weren't careful. "Are you excited about today?" my husband asked me suddenly. "Sure," I managed to respond without betraying any inner turmoil. As we ate our meal, pancakes piled high and syrup dripping down their sides, I couldn't shake off feelings swirling within me. Guilt tangled with desire created an internal storm brewing just beneath my calm exterior. After breakfast concluded with light chatter about our itinerary for exploring Asheville's vibrant arts scene later on, we decided to head out for some fresh air before embarking on our planned adventures. Walking through downtown Asheville felt surreal. Colorful murals adorned brick walls while street performers entertained passers-by with lively music filling every corner of this eclectic cityscape. Yet amidst all this vibrancy surrounding us stood shadows looming over my heart, a reminder that nothing would ever truly return back to normal after last night's events. My stepson walked beside me as we strolled through shops filled with handmade crafts and local artwork. Every so often our arms brushed against each other, unintentionally sending jolts through me that were both thrilling yet frightening at once. "Did you see that?" He pointed towards an artist painting on canvas nearby, a burst of colors exploding onto his palette as strokes transformed into something beautiful under his skilled hands. "Yeah," I replied softly while trying not to linger too long on his presence next to mine, the closeness igniting flames within reminiscent of youthful infatuations long buried beneath layers of responsibility over time. We continued walking until we reached an open square where people gathered around listening intently to musicians strumming guitars under warm sunlight spilling down upon us all like golden rain, a perfect backdrop for memories waiting eagerly just beyond reach. But then guilt crept back in again like an unwelcome guest arriving unannounced. How could I enjoy this moment when it was tainted by what lay hidden beneath? As laughter erupted from nearby families enjoying ice cream cones together or children chasing one another joyfully through grassy patches nearby, I couldn't help but feel more isolated than ever before even amidst all this happiness surrounding us now. "Are you okay?" he asked, suddenly breaking through my reverie. Concern etched across his face made it harder still, not meeting those eyes filled with understanding too profound yet painful simultaneously. Like looking into mirrors reflecting parts lost long ago somewhere along life's journey taken thus far. "I'm fine," was all I managed while forcing another smile painted over fear lurking just below surface, waiting patiently for opportunity arise again soon enough when least expected. Our outing continued, but each passing moment felt strained, not because anyone else noticed anything amiss, but because deep down inside there existed something unspoken lingering heavily between us both, making it impossible escape reality anymore without confronting truths hidden within shadows cast over hearts entwined now forever changed since last night's kiss shared, so recklessly yet passionately too. Eventually returning back towards hotel room where family gathered once more, the weight pressing upon chest tightened further still as realization dawned anew. Choices made would inevitably lead toward consequences unforeseen ahead, waiting silently under surface ready strike when least expected. The early morning light crept through the thin hotel curtains, casting soft shadows across the room. I stirred awake, my heart racing as the memories of last night flooded back. We spent the night together, a whirlwind of emotions and unspoken words hanging in the air like a fragile thread. The thrill of our connection clashed with the weight of my reality. I was still married, still bound by vows that felt increasingly distant. I turned to look at him, still asleep beside me. His face was peaceful, unaware of the storm brewing within me. How had we reached this point? Just days ago, I had been content to play my role as a wife and stepmother, but now everything felt different. The warmth of his presence beside me was intoxicating yet terrifying. As I slipped out of bed and pulled on a robe, I tried to shake off the remnants of sleep and confusion. The room was silent except for the faint sounds from outside, the chirping of birds and distant laughter from other families enjoying their vacations. I glanced at him one more time before stepping into the bathroom to splash some water on my face. In front of the mirror, I studied my reflection. Lines etched deeper than before seemed to tell stories of lost opportunities and unfulfilled dreams. My marriage had become a routine, a series of predictable motions that no longer sparked joy or passion. And now here I stood, grappling with feelings that were both exhilarating and forbidden. The door creaked open behind me, and he entered, rubbing his eyes sleepily. "Morning," he said softly, his voice still thick with sleep. "Morning," I replied, forcing a smile that felt more like a mask than genuine warmth. He stepped closer, studying me with an intensity that made my heart race again. "Last night, it felt real." "Yes," I managed to say, though inside I was battling a whirlwind of emotions, guilt mingled with desire. "What do we do now?" he asked cautiously. I turned away from him to avoid his gaze in the mirror. "We need to be careful," I said finally. "This can't happen again." "Why not?" "It feels right." His tone was earnest, yet it only added to my turmoil. I sighed heavily as reality crashed back in waves. My husband would be returning soon from his trip, family obligations awaited us. The thought alone made my chest tighten painfully. "Because it complicates everything," I whispered. He stepped back slightly as if my words had created an invisible barrier between us. "But what if we don't want it to end?" I turned to face him fully then. There was desperation in his eyes that mirrored my own hidden fears. "We have to think about everyone else first." "Do you really want this to end?" His question hung in the air like a challenge, forcing me to confront feelings I had buried for too long beneath layers of obligation and convention. "I don't know," I admitted quietly, feeling vulnerable under his gaze. We stood there in silence for what felt like an eternity until the sound of footsteps echoed outside our door reminded us both that our secret could not remain hidden forever. "We should get dressed," I said finally, breaking eye contact as if doing so would somehow lessen the gravity of our situation. As we prepared for another day filled with family activities, hiking along trails and exploring local shops, I couldn't shake off an unsettling feeling gnawing at me deep inside. Each laugh shared around breakfast felt forced, every glance exchanged held unspoken tension beneath its surface. Later that day while walking through Asheville's vibrant arts district, where colorful murals adorned walls and street performers entertained passers-by, I found myself lost in thought amidst laughter from family members around me who remained blissfully unaware of what transpired between us just hours earlier. "Look at that," one family member exclaimed, pointing towards an artist painting vivid landscapes on canvas nearby. "Let's stop and take some pictures," another suggested enthusiastically. I nodded along but felt detached from their excitement as memories swirled within me, a longing for something more than mere smiles plastered on faces or polite conversations exchanged over dinner tables filled with food but lacking genuine connection. As we paused for photos against bright backdrops painted by talented hands skilled enough to capture beauty through artful strokes, my mind wandered back towards moments shared behind closed doors where vulnerability met desire without hesitation or judgment looming overhead. Suddenly caught off guard by laughter erupting nearby, I turned only to find myself staring directly into my husband's eyes, who had just arrived unexpectedly early from his trip home. A sight that sent shockwaves coursing through me like lightning striking ground beneath feet, unsteady now under pressure mounting silently ever since last night's events unfolded. "What are you doing here?" My voice came out sharper than intended as surprise morphed into panic, threatening to spill over any semblance of control left within grasp, now slipping away fast. "I wanted to surprise you all," he replied cheerfully, while obliviousness cloaked him, entirely unaware about anything else brewing beneath surface, waiting patiently, ready strike when least expected. My heart raced as conflicting emotions collided within. A mixture between relief at seeing him yet dread over potential consequences looming ahead grew heavier each second, ticking by, louder, echoing silently through crowded streets filled with life surrounding us, oblivious towards turmoil brewing just beneath surface, hiding. Secrets waiting patiently, ready reveal themselves soon enough if not contained carefully. "Let's get everyone together for lunch," he suggested brightly, turning towards family members already gathering nearby, unaware about tension rising quietly, building up around us, steadily tightening grip upon hearts caught between loyalty versus desire, pulling each way, threatening unravel everything once held dear. As we settled at the table, I could sense the unspoken tension among us. My husband's jovial demeanor clashed with the heaviness in my heart. Conversations flowed around me, laughter mingling with the clinking of cutlery, yet I felt like a ghost haunting a vibrant gathering. My mind drifted to the stolen moments, the brief touches that ignited something deep within me. A glance from him sent a shiver down my spine, complicating my emotions further. "Did you enjoy the art festival yesterday?" my husband asked, breaking through my reverie. His eyes sparkled with enthusiasm, yet I could barely muster a smile in response. I nodded absently, memories of our shared laughter overshadowed by guilt and confusion. "I thought it was amazing," he continued, unaware of the storm brewing beneath my calm exterior. "The murals were incredible. We should go back tomorrow." "Sure," I replied mechanically, my thoughts drifting again to the moments shared in our hotel room. The thrill of those encounters was intoxicating but laced with fear, a fear that threatened to unravel everything I had built over the years. As lunch progressed, I caught his eye across the table. In that instant, everything else faded away, the clamor of family chatter dissolved into silence as an electric connection sparked between us. I recalled how close we had been just hours before and how easily we slipped into our secret world when no one was watching. "Are you okay?" he whispered softly when no one else was listening. The concern in his voice tugged at something deep within me. "I'm fine," I replied too quickly, forcing a smile that didn't quite reach my eyes. "Just checking." He leaned back slightly, but his gaze lingered on me longer than necessary. The weight of his attention made it difficult to breathe. Then came an unexpected interruption. My phone buzzed insistently on the table. It was an incoming call from home. My husband's voice crackled through as soon as I answered. "Hey. Just wanted to let you know I'm coming back early," he announced cheerfully. My heart dropped at his words. "Oh. Is everything okay?" "Yeah. Just finished up some work earlier than expected," he replied casually. "I'll be home in about an hour." Panic surged through me like ice water coursing through my veins. An hour? My mind raced with frantic calculations. What would happen if he walked in on us? Would he see through our facade? I glanced at him across the table. His expression mirrored my growing dread as awareness dawned on him too. We exchanged a knowing look filled with unspoken concern and urgency. "I have to go," I mouthed silently to him before excusing myself from the table under the pretense of needing fresh air. Outside, I leaned against the cool brick wall of the restaurant and took several deep breaths to steady myself. My thoughts spiraled. Should I tell him about my feelings? Should I confess everything now before it all spiraled out of control? But what would that mean for us? For our family? Moments later, he joined me outside, concern etched on his face as he stepped closer into my personal space, a boundary blurred by desire and fear alike. "What are we going to do?" he asked quietly, urgency lacing his tone. "I don't know," I admitted honestly, feeling vulnerable under his gaze. The warmth radiating from him drew me in, It was intoxicating yet terrifying all at once. The reality of our situation pressed heavily upon us both, my marriage hanging by a thread while this new connection thrived in shadows. "I can't keep pretending everything is fine," he said softly, almost pleadingly. Neither could I. But what choice did we have? A sudden commotion erupted inside as family members began gathering their belongings and preparing to leave for our next destination, a scenic overlook along Blue Ridge Parkway renowned for its breathtaking views. It felt surreal, the juxtaposition of beauty against chaos mirrored perfectly within me. We walked back toward them side by side but remained silent. Words felt inadequate amidst this turmoil brewing inside us both, an uncharted territory filled with uncertainty and longing yet tethered by loyalty and obligation. As we piled into cars for the drive ahead, tension hung thick in the air like fog enveloping every conversation around us, a stark contrast to the vibrant colors outside as trees blurred past while thoughts raced within, each mind trapped inside their own worlds battling against desires unfulfilled and responsibilities unyielding. Arriving at our destination brought little relief. Instead, it only intensified emotions swirling beneath surfaces kept hidden for far too long. The view stretched infinitely before us, majestic mountains kissed by clouds bathed in golden sunlight, but all I could see were shadows lurking behind every corner of my heart, yearning for freedom yet shackled by commitments made long ago. "Let's take some pictures," called out one family member enthusiastically, breaking through heavy silence surrounding us momentarily, pulling everyone's focus away from underlying tensions simmering just below surface, waiting patiently ready reveal themselves again soon enough if not contained carefully. I forced a smile while posing for photos alongside family members but couldn't shake feeling like an outsider looking in, a spectator watching life unfold without truly participating anymore, captivated instead by memories lingering far too close, reminding me how easily things could shift if given half a chance. As laughter echoed around me during photo ops capturing fleeting moments together shared amidst beautiful scenery surrounding us, I felt lost between two worlds, one filled with familial love rooted deeply within years spent nurturing bonds forged over time. Another beckoning seductively promising excitement found only beyond boundaries set forth long ago, threatening unravel everything precious built upon trust and devotion. The day wore on, slowly dragging behind its weighty burden until finally dusk began creeping across horizon, painting skies vibrant hues signaling end approaching, quickly drawing nearer with each passing minute, ticking down toward inevitable confrontation looming above. All else waiting patiently ready pounce once darkness fell, casting shadows deeper still, hiding secrets longing escape revealed finally. And then came another unexpected twist. A sudden family emergency arose requiring immediate attention, pulling everyone closer together, forcing confrontation inevitable. The family dinner unfolded with an air of tension, each course served like a ticking clock, counting down to the moment when everything would shift. I sat at the table, my heart racing slightly faster than usual. My stepson was across from me, his gaze flickering between his plate and mine, a silent acknowledgement of the unspoken bond we'd forged in secret. The clinking of silverware and the low hum of conversation surrounded us, yet I felt isolated within my own thoughts. My husband spoke animatedly about his day, unaware of the storm brewing beneath the surface. "You should have seen the view from the top of that ridge today," he said, gesturing with enthusiasm. "The colors were just breathtaking." I nodded along, forcing a smile as I tried to focus on his words rather than what was happening beneath the table, a shared glance with my stepson that sent a shiver down my spine. "Yeah, I've always wanted to see it," my stepson replied quietly, his voice barely rising above the din. His eyes met mine for just a moment longer than necessary before he turned back to his food. A mix of longing and confusion passed between us, unspoken but palpable. As dessert was served, a rich chocolate cake that smelled divine, my husband continued to recount tales from his day. Yet every word felt heavy with implication for me. The atmosphere thickened when he casually mentioned plans for our return home. "I think we should go hiking tomorrow before we leave," he suggested. Sure, I said automatically, though my mind raced ahead. Hiking meant more time together as a family but also less time alone with him, the stepson who had become an unexpected source of comfort and confusion. In an attempt to lighten the mood, I brought up a funny incident from earlier in the trip involving a local street performer who had mistakenly thought my husband was part of his act. Laughter erupted around the table, momentarily breaking through the tension. However, as soon as it began, it dissipated into silence again. Then came that unexpected comment from my husband that made my stomach drop. "You know," he started casually, "sometimes I wonder if we're all really connected here." He paused as if gauging our reactions. "It's like we're all in our little bubbles." My heart raced at those words. Was he sensing something? Did he know? The unease in my chest tightened further as I glanced at my stepson again. There was a flicker of concern in his eyes mirroring mine. "What do you mean by that?" my stepson asked cautiously. "I mean," my husband continued slowly, "we've been together for years now, but sometimes it feels like we're not really communicating." His gaze shifted between us as if searching for something hidden beneath our surfaces. I swallowed hard. This was not what I needed right now, a moment of introspection when I desperately wanted to retreat into denial about everything happening between us. "Maybe we should spend more time together as a family," I suggested weakly, trying to steer the conversation away from deeper waters where secrets could drown us all. But then came another twist. My stepson leaned forward slightly and spoke softly but firmly. "I think it's important too, to be honest with each other." His words hung heavily in the air like an uninvited guest crashing a party. I felt heat rise to my cheeks while dread pooled in my stomach. What did he mean? Was he hinting at our shared moments? My mind raced through possibilities. Did he want to confront this tangled web we found ourselves caught within? Before I could respond or find any semblance of composure, laughter erupted again from across the table. My husband had told another joke about their hiking excursion gone wrong last summer involving slippery rocks and an unfortunate fall into water. The lightheartedness felt jarring against the backdrop of what lay beneath our interactions, the weighty truth hanging over us like dark clouds threatening rain at any moment. As dinner concluded and plates were cleared away by staff who seemed blissfully unaware of our turmoil, I felt trapped within this intricate dance between duty and desire, between loyalty to family and honesty about feelings that had spiraled beyond reason. Afterward, we retreated to our hotel room where silence enveloped us once more, a stark contrast to the chatter around dinner earlier. My stepson sat on one bed while I perched awkwardly on another across from him. Distance felt necessary yet unbearable at once. "I didn't mean to bring up anything uncomfortable tonight," he finally said after several moments stretched painfully long between us. "No, you didn't," I replied softly, though inside turmoil churned relentlessly still, confusion mingled with longing creating chaos within me once more. Sometimes it feels like there's so much left unsaid." His voice dropped lower, now almost hesitant yet steady enough for me to hear clearly despite distance separating us, physically still lingering heavily around emotional walls built high over years past experiences shared together as family members bound by ties stronger than blood alone could create, even through marriage alone. "What are you saying?" The question slipped out before I could catch myself. Curiosity mingled dangerously with fear, threatening everything fragile surrounding us both right then and there, amidst uncertainty looming ever closer, still waiting patiently ready pounce once darkness fell, casting shadows deeper still, hiding secrets longing escape. Revealed finally. He hesitated before responding. Uncertainty creased his brow as if weighing every word carefully chosen, even though emotions ran high, already bubbling close just below surface, waiting burst forth uncontrollably, spilling chaos everywhere around them, both unable to contain any longer without consequence, inevitably following suit soon enough. "I guess I'm just confused about everything happening right now." His admission hung heavy between us. honest yet fraught with implications, neither one fully prepared face head-on either way, without consequences looming large overhead waiting strike unexpectedly down upon them both when least expected, most likely catching unaware, entirely off guard, leaving behind nothing but wreckage scattered everywhere, remnants, once whole families torn apart by choices made too quickly without thought or care beforehand, ever considered properly first before acting. Impulsively driven by desires ignited far too easily without caution taken beforehand whatsoever. And then suddenly, a loud knock echoed through door-breaking tension, suffocating room, instantly pulling attention away from fragile conversation now hanging precariously poised upon edge precipice, threatening tumble down into abyss below, forever lost unless someone intervened quickly enough before it spiraled out control, completely beyond reach altogether. Who is it? My voice trembled slightly, betraying nerves fraying dangerously thin, already pushing limits tested far beyond comfort zones established firmly throughout lives lived until this very moment, here now facing crossroads, diverging paths ahead, uncertain futures beckoning brightly toward unknown adventures waiting eagerly beyond horizon, beckoning loudly, calling forth change inevitable, soon approaching fast, catching everyone unaware, completely unprepared, face whatever consequences lay ahead, waiting patiently just beneath surface, ready reveal themselves fully once light cast upon darkness, lurking behind shadows, hiding secrets, yearning escape, finally set free, unleashed upon unsuspecting world outside walls built high, surrounding hearts locked tight, keeping fears bottled deep inside, never seeing light shining bright, illuminating truths hidden away for far too long, now finally emerging into open air, breathing fresh life back into souls longing, reconnect lost connections, seeking restoration. Healing wounds left open, bleeding silently, hidden deep beneath surfaces, worn thin, struggling hold on to semblance normalcy amidst chaos swirling around them, constantly threatening pull apart seams, holding everything together, tightly woven fabric, lives intertwined, forever changed, irrevocably altered, course taken unexpectedly, leading down paths uncharted, filled uncertainties, lingering doubts creeping ever closer towards edges, cliffs steep looming large overhead, casting shadows dark covering ground below, obscuring vision, clarity sought, desperately searching answers long overdue, finally arriving, moments notice catching unaware, completely off guard, leaving behind nothing but echoes, memories past haunting present future uncertain, stretching endlessly forward toward horizons unseen, beckoning brightly, calling forth change inevitable, soon approaching fast, catching everyone unaware, completely unprepared, face whatever consequences lay ahead, waiting patiently just beneath surface, ready reveal themselves fully once light cast upon darkness, lurking behind shadows, hiding secrets, yearning escape, finally set free, unleashed upon unsuspecting world outside walls built high, surrounding hearts locked tight, keeping fears bottled deep inside, never seeing light shining bright, illuminating truths hidden away for far too long, now finally emerging into open air, breathing fresh life back into souls longing, reconnect lost connections, seeking restoration, healing wounds left open, bleeding silently hidden deep beneath surfaces, worn thin, struggling hold on to semblance normalcy amidst chaos swirling around them, constantly threatening pull apart seams, holding everything together, tightly woven fabric, lives intertwined, forever changed, irrevocably altered, course taken unexpectedly, leading down paths uncharted, filled uncertainties, lingering doubts creeping ever closer towards edges, cliffs steep looming large overhead, casting shadows dark covering ground below, obscuring vision, clarity sought, desperately searching answers long overdue, finally arriving, moments notice catching unaware, completely off guard, leaving behind nothing but echoes, memories past haunting present future uncertain, stretching endlessly forward toward horizons unseen, beckoning brightly calling forth change inevitable, soon approaching fast, catching everyone unaware, completely unprepared, face whatever consequences lay ahead, waiting patiently just beneath surface, ready reveal themselves fully once light cast upon darkness, lurking behind shadows, hiding secrets, yearning escape, finally set free, unleashed upon unsuspecting world outside walls built high, surrounding hearts locked tight, keeping fears bottled deep inside, never seeing light shining bright, illuminating truths hidden away for far too long, now finally emerging into open air, breathing fresh life back into souls longing, reconnect lost connections, seeking restoration, healing wounds left open, bleeding silently, hidden deep beneath surfaces, worn thin struggling hold on to semblance normalcy amidst chaos swirling around them, constantly threatening pull apart seams holding everything together, tightly woven fabric, lives intertwined, forever changed, irrevocably altered, course taken unexpectedly leading down paths uncharted, filled uncertainties, lingering doubts creeping ever closer towards edges, cliffs steep looming large overhead, casting shadows dark, covering ground below, obscuring vision clarity, sought desperately, searching answers long overdue. Finally arriving, moments notice catching unaware, completely off guard, leaving behind nothing but echoes, memories past haunting present, future uncertain, stretching endlessly forward toward horizons unseen, beckoning brightly, calling forth change inevitable soon. Approaching fast, catching everyone unaware, completely unprepared, face whatever consequences lay ahead, waiting patiently just beneath surface, ready reveal themselves fully once light cast upon darkness, lurking behind shadows, hiding secrets. Yearning escape finally set free, unleashed upon unsuspecting world outside, walls built high surrounding hearts locked tight, keeping fears bottled deep inside, never seeing light shining bright, illuminating truths hidden away for far too long, now finally emerging into open air, breathing fresh life back into souls longing, reconnect lost connections, seeking restoration, healing wounds left open, bleeding silently, hidden deep beneath surfaces, worn thin, struggling hold on to semblance normalcy amidst chaos swirling around them, constantly threatening pull apart seams holding everything together, tightly woven fabric, lives intertwined, forever changed, irrevocably altered, course taken unexpectedly leading down paths uncharted, filled uncertainties, lingering doubts creeping ever closer towards edges, cliffs steep looming large overhead, casting shadows dark, covering ground below, obscuring vision clarity, sought desperately, searching answers long overdue. Finally arriving, moments notice catching unaware, completely off guard, leaving behind nothing but echoes, memories past haunting present, future uncertain, stretching endlessly forward toward horizons unseen, beckoning brightly, calling forth change inevitable soon, approaching fast, catching everyone unaware, completely unprepared, face whatever consequences lay ahead, waiting patiently just beneath surface, ready reveal themselves fully once light cast upon darkness, lurking behind shadows, hiding secrets, yearning escape finally set free. Unleashed upon unsuspecting world outside, walls built high surrounding hearts locked tight, keeping fears bottled deep inside, never seeing light shining bright, illuminating truths hidden away for far too long, now finally emerging into open air, breathing fresh life back into souls longing, reconnect lost connections, seeking restoration, healing wounds left open, bleeding silently, hidden deep beneath surfaces, worn thin, struggling hold on to semblance normalcy amidst chaos swirling around them, constantly threatening pull apart seams holding everything together, tightly woven fabric, lives intertwined, forever changed, irrevocably altered, course taken unexpectedly leading down paths uncharted, filled uncertainties, lingering doubts creeping ever closer towards edges, cliffs steep looming large overhead, casting shadows dark, covering ground below, obscuring vision clarity, sought desperately, searching answers long overdue. Finally arriving, moments notice catching unaware, completely off guard, leaving behind nothing but echoes, memories past haunting present, future uncertain, stretching endlessly forward toward horizons unseen, beckoning brightly, calling forth change inevitable soon, approaching fast, catching everyone unaware, completely unprepared, face whatever consequences lay ahead, waiting patiently just beneath surface, ready reveal themselves fully once light cast upon darkness, lurking behind shadows, hiding secrets, yearning escape finally set free, unleashed upon unsuspecting world outside, walls built high surrounding hearts locked tight, keeping fears bottled deep inside, never seeing light shining bright, illuminating truths hidden away for far too long, now finally emerging into open air, breathing fresh life back into souls longing, reconnect lost connections, seeking restoration, healing wounds left open, bleeding silently, hidden deep beneath surfaces, worn thin, struggling hold on to semblance normalcy amidst chaos swirling around them, constantly threatening pull apart seams holding everything together, tightly woven fabric, lives intertwined, forever changed, irrevocably altered, course taken unexpectedly leading down paths uncharted, filled uncertainties, lingering doubts creeping ever closer towards edges, cliffs steep looming large overhead, casting shadows dark, covering ground below, obscuring vision clarity, sought desperately, searching answers long overdue. Finally arriving, moments notice catching unaware, completely off guard, leaving behind nothing but echoes, memories Past haunting, present, future uncertain, stretching endlessly forward toward horizons unseen, beckoning brightly, calling forth change inevitable, soon approaching fast, catching everyone unaware, completely unprepared, face whatever consequences lay ahead, waiting patiently just beneath surface, ready reveal themselves fully once light cast upon darkness, lurking behind shadows, hiding secrets, yearning escape, finally set free, unleashed upon unsuspecting world outside walls built high surrounding hearts. Locked tight, keeping fears bottled deep inside, never seeing light shining bright, illuminating truths hidden away for far. The sun dipped low over the Blue Ridge Parkway, casting a warm, golden hue across the landscape. I stood on the balcony of our hotel room, feeling the cool breeze against my skin, yet it did little to soothe the turmoil inside me. The vibrant colors of Asheville seemed to mock my inner chaos, a stark contrast to the confusion I felt in my heart. My stepson was inside, and I couldn't shake the thrill of our last encounter from my mind. As I glanced back into the room, he was sitting on the edge of the bed, his expression a mix of anticipation and uncertainty. We had shared so much over these past few days, moments that felt charged with unspoken words and lingering glances. Yet now, with each passing second, I felt the weight of my choices pressing down on me like a heavy fog. "Are you okay?" he asked softly, breaking through my reverie. I nodded but didn't trust my voice to say more. The truth was that I was anything but okay. The thrill of our connection clashed violently with the reality of my marriage and family obligations. How had I let myself get caught up in this? "It's just, everything feels so complicated," I finally admitted. He shifted slightly, his brow furrowing as if he understood more than he let on. "Yeah, it does." A moment passed between us, a silent acknowledgement of our shared struggle. Yet beneath that understanding lay an undeniable tension that neither of us dared to address fully. "Maybe we should just forget about it," he suggested hesitantly. Forget about it? The words hung in the air like a challenge, and for a fleeting moment, I considered it. But could I really turn away from what had begun to feel like a lifeline? "I don't know if I can do that," I replied quietly. His gaze held mine for a heartbeat longer than necessary before he looked away. The silence stretched between us again, thick with unspoken emotions and unresolved desires. Suddenly, laughter erupted from outside, a group of tourists enjoying their evening at a nearby festival. Their carefree joy contrasted sharply with our muted existence behind closed doors. It reminded me of how distant life felt from what we once knew as normalcy. "I guess we should probably go join them," he said reluctantly. I forced a smile in response but felt an ache deep within me at the thought of mingling with others while carrying this secret burden. "Yeah, let's go." As we made our way downstairs and stepped into the lively atmosphere outside, something shifted in me. The vibrant energy around us beckoned for distraction, a chance to escape from our reality for just a little while longer. The festival bustled with people enjoying street performances and local art displays. Colorful murals adorned buildings nearby like patches on a quilt telling stories of lives lived boldly. Yet amidst this vibrancy, my heart raced for entirely different reasons. The closeness we had shared lingered in every glance exchanged between us. We wandered through booths showcasing handmade crafts and delicious food stalls filled with tempting aromas. Each step felt heavy yet exhilarating. Every laugh from him sent electric shocks through me as if reminding me why we were here together, caught between desire and duty. "Look at that," he exclaimed suddenly, pointing toward an artist painting live on canvas at one booth. I turned to see vibrant strokes coming together into something beautiful, a scene reminiscent of Asheville itself, mountains rising against a sunset sky filled with swirling hues of orange and purple. It struck me then how art could capture emotions so vividly, much like what was happening between us. "Isn't it amazing?" he asked as we watched in silence for a moment longer before turning back toward each other. "It really is," I replied thoughtfully, feeling an urge to express what had been building inside me during this trip but unsure how to articulate it without crossing lines that shouldn't be crossed. Just then, a familiar face appeared in the crowd, a friend from years past who had once been part of my life before marriage changed everything. Her presence brought an unexpected rush of nostalgia mixed with anxiety. Memories flooded back uninvited as she approached us with an enthusiastic wave. "Wow! What are you doing here?" she greeted warmly before her gaze shifted between us curiously. "We're just visiting," I managed to say while internally panicking about how much she might perceive or understand about our current situation. My stepson shifted closer beside me instinctively as if sensing my discomfort. His body language mirrored mine, tense yet yearning for connection amidst confusion surrounding our relationship dynamic, now exposed under scrutiny by someone who knew nothing about it all. "Oh. You must be having such fun. Asheville is wonderful this time of year." She continued cheerfully, unaware that her arrival had disrupted whatever fragile balance we'd created during this trip together over these last few days spent exploring feelings neither one could quite articulate without risking everything they held dear back home. Their family unit intact yet fraying at its edges due largely because secrets were never meant to be kept hidden forever nor allowed space enough thrive unchecked within hearts longing for understanding beyond mere obligation alone. As she chatted animatedly about places worth visiting around town next time she came back again soon after saying goodbye for now, I couldn't help but glance sideways at him only to find his expression mirroring mine, caught between wanting her approval while simultaneously wishing desperately they could retreat back into their private world where none would judge them harshly nor question motives behind glances exchanged when no one else was looking closely enough. Finally breaking free after what felt like eternity spent smiling politely through small talk, I whispered softly under breath barely audible above noise surrounding us now filled laughter echoing all around everywhere. "We need some air." He nodded without hesitation leading way toward quieter side street-lined trees casting shadows overhead creating cocoon-like atmosphere shielding them momentarily from prying eyes outside world beyond their bubble formed out intimacy born unexpected. Circumstances leading them here tonight together alone finally free breathe freely without pretense looming overhead threatening unravel everything they'd built since arriving together earlier week full hope dreams lost somewhere along path taken. Unexpectedly leading down winding roads filled uncertainty ahead waiting patiently just beyond horizon line waiting reveal itself fully when least expected most needed most desperately sought after clarity found nowhere else until now right here right now standing side by side sheltered safe haven created within walls built strong enough withstand storms brewing outside threatening tear apart lives woven intricately together forever changed irrevocably altered course traveled long ago never anticipated taking detours along way leading somewhere entirely new altogether unexplored territory filled possibilities unforeseen previously thought impossible until fate intervened granting second chance grasp hold tightly before slipping away once again leaving nothing behind except memories faded promises broken unfulfilled dreams haunting every step taken forward unsure where next would lead ultimately end up leaving behind shadows lingering still echoing whispers carried softly winds blowing gently across valleys below stretching endlessly far beyond sight reaching toward infinity beckoning onward ever onward searching relentlessly seeking answers hidden deep within souls yearning connect deeply once more despite odds stacked high against them both desperate cling hope alive even amidst darkness creeping ever closer threatening swallow whole light shone brightly illuminating paths ahead guiding footsteps forward into unknown realms awaiting discovery waiting patiently until ready embrace whatever comes next willing take risks necessary forge ahead boldly despite fears lingering still holding tightly onto dreams cherished dearly never letting go no matter cost incurred along journey traveled thus far leading right here tonight standing shoulder shoulder breathing deeply fresh air filling lungs invigorating spirit igniting fire burning brightly illuminating hearts long dimmed now rekindled anew reignited flames passion burning fiercely bright illuminating darkest corners life once lived dreaming waking moments lost time forgotten rediscovered anew reawakened alive vibrant alive again pulsing rhythm heartbeat echoing steady beats resonating harmony found nowhere else except within reach fingertips brushing lightly Against skin, igniting spark, igniting flames and new blazing trails, unknown, forging paths forward, daring venture forth boldly, unabashedly embracing whatever lies ahead, ready face whatever challenges await, knowing strength lies deep within hearts intertwined, forever bound by love, forged fiery trials, endured together, united, front-facing world head-on, unafraid, stand tall, unwavering, resolute, unwavering commitment, boundless courage, unwavering faith, guiding steps onward, ever onward toward brighter future. Awaiting patiently beyond horizon line, shimmering, inviting, beckoning towards destiny, unfolding beautifully before eyes wide open, ready embrace whatever comes next, willing take chances necessary, forge ahead boldly despite fears lingering. Still holding tightly on to dreams cherished dearly, never letting go no matter cost incurred, a long journey traveled thus far, leading right here tonight, standing shoulder shoulder, breathing deeply fresh air, filling lungs, invigorating spirit, igniting fire, burning brightly, illuminating hearts long dimmed, now rekindled anew, reignited flames, passion burning fiercely bright, illuminating darkest corners, life once lived, dreaming, waking moments lost, time forgotten, rediscovered anew, reawakened, alive. Vibrant, alive again, pulsing rhythm, heartbeat echoing, steady beats, resonating harmony found nowhere else except within reach, fingertips brushing lightly against skin, igniting spark, igniting flames and new blazing trails, unknown, forging paths forward, daring venture forth boldly, unabashedly embracing whatever lies ahead, ready face whatever challenges await, knowing strength lies deep within hearts intertwined, forever bound by love, forged fiery trials, endured together, united, front-facing world head-on. Unafraid, stand tall, unwavering, resolute, unwavering commitment, boundless courage, unwavering faith, guiding steps onward, ever onward toward brighter future, awaiting patiently beyond horizon line, shimmering, inviting, beckoning towards destiny, unfolding beautifully before eyes wide open, ready embrace whatever comes next, willing take chances necessary, forge ahead boldly despite fears lingering, still holding tightly onto dreams cherished dearly, never letting go no matter cost incurred, a long journey traveled thus far, leading right here tonight, standing shoulder shoulder, breathing deeply fresh air, filling lungs, invigorating spirit, igniting fire, burning brightly, illuminating hearts long dimmed, now rekindled anew, reignited flames, passion burning fiercely bright, illuminating darkest corners, life once lived, dreaming, waking moments lost, time forgotten, rediscovered anew, reawakened, alive, vibrant, alive again, pulsing rhythm, heartbeat echoing, steady beats, resonating harmony found nowhere else except within reach, fingertips brushing lightly against skin, igniting spark, igniting flames and new blazing trails, unknown, forging paths forward, daring venture forth boldly, unabashedly embracing whatever lies ahead, ready face whatever challenges await, knowing strength lies deep within hearts intertwined, forever bound by love, forged fiery trials, endured together, united, front-facing world head-on, unafraid, stand tall, unwavering, resolute, unwavering commitment, boundless courage, unwavering faith, guiding steps onward, ever onward toward brighter future, awaiting patiently beyond horizon line, shimmering, inviting, beckoning towards destiny, unfolding beautifully before eyes wide open, ready embrace whatever comes next, willing take chances necessary, forge ahead boldly despite fears lingering, still holding tightly onto dreams cherished dearly, never letting go no matter cost incurred, a long journey traveled thus far, leading right here tonight, standing shoulder shoulder, breathing deeply fresh air, filling lungs, invigorating spirit, igniting fire, burning brightly, illuminating hearts long dimmed, now rekindled anew, reignited flames, passion burning fiercely bright, illuminating darkest corners, life once lived, dreaming, waking moments lost, time forgotten, rediscovered anew, reawakened, alive, vibrant, alive again, pulsing rhythm, heartbeat echoing, steady beats, resonating harmony found nowhere else except within reach, fingertips brushing lightly against skin, igniting spark, igniting flames and new blazing trails, unknown, forging paths forward, daring venture forth boldly, unabashedly embracing whatever lies ahead, ready face whatever challenges await, knowing strength lies deep within hearts intertwined, forever bound by love, forged fiery trials, endured together, united, front facing world head-on, unafraid, stand tall, unwavering, resolute, unwavering commitment, boundless courage, unwavering faith, guiding steps onward, ever onward toward brighter future, awaiting patiently beyond horizon line, shimmering, inviting, beckoning towards destiny unfolding beautifully before eyes wide open, ready embrace whatever comes next, willing take chances necessary, forge ahead boldly despite fears lingering, still holding tightly onto dreams cherished dearly, never letting go no matter cost incurred along. Journey traveled thus far, leading right here tonight, standing shoulder shoulder, breathing deeply, fresh air filling lungs, invigorating spirit, igniting fire burning brightly, illuminating hearts long dimmed, now rekindled anew, reignited. Flames, passion burning fiercely bright, illuminating darkest corners, life once lived, dreaming waking moments lost, time forgotten, rediscovered anew, reawakened, alive, vibrant, alive again, pulsing rhythm, heartbeat echoing, steady beats, resonating harmony found nowhere else except within reach, fingertips brushing lightly against skin, igniting spark, igniting flames anew, blazing trails unknown, forging paths forward, daring venture forth boldly, unabashedly embracing whatever lies ahead, ready face whatever challenges await, knowing strength lies deep within hearts intertwined, forever bound by love, forged fiery trials endured together, united front facing world head on, unafraid stand tall, unwavering resolute, unwavering commitment, boundless courage, unwavering faith, guiding steps onward, ever onward toward brighter future awaiting patiently beyond horizon line, shimmering, inviting, beckoning towards destiny unfolding beautifully before eyes wide open, ready embrace whatever comes next, willing take chances necessary, forge ahead boldly despite fears lingering, still holding tightly onto dreams cherished dearly, never letting go no matter cost incurred along. Journey traveled thus far, leading right here tonight, standing shoulder shoulder, breathing deeply, fresh air filling lungs, invigorating spirit, igniting fire burning brightly, illuminating hearts long dimmed, now rekindled anew, reignited flames, passion burning fiercely bright, illuminating darkest corners, life once lived, dreaming waking moments lost, time forgotten, rediscovered anew, reawakened, alive, vibrant, alive again, pulsing rhythm, heartbeat echoing, steady beats, resonating harmony found nowhere else except within reach, fingertips brushing lightly against skin, igniting spark, igniting flames anew, blazing trails unknown, forging paths forward, daring venture forth boldly, unabashedly embracing whatever lies ahead, ready face whatever challenges await, knowing strength lies deep within hearts intertwined, forever bound by love, forged fiery trials. The door swung open with a force that echoed through the small hotel room, and I froze, my heart racing in my chest. There he stood, my husband, his face a mix of confusion and disbelief. The moment hung in the air like a fragile glass ornament, ready to shatter at any moment. I felt the weight of the world pressing down on me, suffocating in its intensity. "What's going on here?" His voice was steady but laced with an undercurrent of tension that sent a shiver down my spine. I glanced at my stepson, who stood beside me, his expression mirroring my own shock. I opened my mouth to speak, but no words came out. The silence was deafening, thick with unspoken truths and hidden desires. I could see my husband's mind racing as he pieced together the fragments of our shared history and the undeniable connection that had developed between us. "Answer me," he demanded, stepping further into the room. "Why were you two kissing?" The question hung there like a heavy fog. I could feel the heat creeping up my cheeks as shame washed over me. I had never intended for this moment to happen, not like this, not in front of him. My voice faltered as I searched for words that could somehow explain this tangled web we had woven. But how could I explain something so complex? How could I convey the feelings that had been bubbling beneath the surface for so long? "Just tell me the truth," he urged, his eyes narrowing slightly as they flickered between us. "We were just," my stepson finally spoke up, his voice trembling slightly. "It was nothing." "Nothing?" The word felt like a slap in the face. It was everything to me, a whirlwind of emotions that had spiraled out of control during this trip. But now it felt trivial and insignificant when faced with reality. "Nothing?" My husband scoffed incredulously. "You call that nothing?" His gaze turned back to me, searching for answers that eluded me even now. "I didn't mean for it to happen," I managed to say finally, desperation creeping into my tone. "We got caught up in everything." "Everything?" He echoed bitterly, shaking his head as if trying to dispel a bad dream. You're telling me that this is just some fleeting moment? That you didn't mean anything by it? The accusation stung more than I anticipated. It wasn't just about a kiss, it was about years of unacknowledged feelings and unmet needs festering beneath the surface of our marriage. No, I whispered softly, feeling tears prick at the corners of my eyes as emotions threatened to overwhelm me once again. It's more complicated than that. Complicated how? He crossed his arms over his chest defensively, unwilling to let go of his anger or hurt just yet. I took a deep breath, glancing at my stepson before continuing hesitantly. I've felt invisible in our marriage for so long now. The admission hung heavy between us. It felt both liberating and terrifying to voice what had been kept hidden for too long. My husband's expression softened slightly at those words as if they struck a chord within him too, a reminder of our own struggles over time. But before he could respond further, an unsettling silence filled the room once more. "What do you want from me?" he finally asked softly after what felt like an eternity. I opened my mouth again but hesitated. There were no easy answers here, no simple solutions or quick fixes for what lay ahead. "I don't know," I admitted finally, feeling raw and exposed beneath their gazes, the weight of their scrutiny pressing down on me heavily now more than ever before. The tension crackled around us like static electricity, threatening chaos lurking just beneath its surface, waiting patiently until someone dared break free from this stifling atmosphere enveloping us all too tightly right now. "What does he mean to you?" My husband pointed toward my stepson with an edge in his voice tinged with bitterness, a question laced with accusation rather than curiosity. "He means," words failed me once more as emotions surged within. How could one define something so profound yet so fraught with complications? "Just say it." My husband's voice rose sharply again, a plea mingled with frustration echoing loudly throughout this cramped space where secrets festered freely without restraint any longer either way. "I don't know." I burst out suddenly, the truth spilling forth uncontrollably now like water breaking through cracks in dam walls, an unstoppable force unleashed by years spent suppressing every feeling pent up inside, longing desperately for release. Silence fell again, punctuated only by ragged breaths shared between three people caught up within whirlwind emotions swirling around them, threatening chaos looming ahead, still unresolved, lingering uneasily, above all else hanging precariously above heads, waiting patiently until someone dared break free from suffocating silence encasing us tightly here tonight. "I can't believe this is happening," he muttered under his breath, shaking head slowly back forth, disbelief etched deeply across features worn thin by years spent navigating rocky terrain together, trying desperately hold on to something once cherished dearly yet slipping away quietly day after day unnoticed. Until now, when confronted directly face to face, stark reality laid bare before all three standing here tonight, unable escape consequences looming ahead, none willing acknowledge openly yet. Either way. My stepson shifted awkwardly beside me, breaking tension briefly but not completely, dissipating unease still lingering thickly throughout air around us. It weighed heavily upon shoulders, pressing down hard, reminding each person present exactly what lay ahead if choices weren't made soon enough before things spiraled completely out control, beyond reach anymore. "I need some air," he said, suddenly turning sharply toward door, stepping outside, leaving behind echoes, uncertainty left unresolved hanging heavily within room still filled, warmth, intimacy shared moments earlier now replaced, coldness creeping silently back inside hearts once open wide, filled, joy, laughter, companionship shared intimately among family members gathered here together tonight. And then there were two left standing, awkwardly facing one another, unsure how proceed next after everything spilled forth so openly just moments ago, leaving behind shattered remnants, trust once held dear torn apart, rapidly unraveling threads woven tightly together throughout years spent building, lives intertwined, forever bound, forever changed, irrevocably altered by decisions made hastily without thought given first, towards consequences awaiting each step taken forward into unknown territory. stretching endlessly beyond horizon, visible ahead, beckoning brightly, illuminating paths untraveled yet filled, uncertainty lurking beneath surface, waiting patiently until someone dared venture forth, boldly embracing whatever lay ahead, ready to confront whatever challenges awaited them both. What happens next? I finally asked, quietly breaking silence lingering heavily, thickly around us, filling space between two hearts beating steadily still despite chaos surrounding everything else, unfolding rapidly outside walls enclosing us tightly here tonight.